And welcome back to part 8 of What If Naruto Had a Sister? Last time on a Naruto What If, we were in the final. I'm pretty sure that is basically the final part of the Chunin exams where you just do the tournament and, recommendations, all that. So the matchups were as followed and the winners were as followed. Hinata, in no particular order. Hinata versus Kiba, Hinata won. Naruto versus Naruto, Naruto won. Gaara versus Sakura, despite Sakura's improvement vastly, Gaara easily took that. And then Shikamaru versus Lee, Lee won. Now, we have been waiting on Sasuke to show up, and finally Sasuke showed up for his fight with Neji. Now, I will say I have ordered this now a little differently, because I even said in the previous episode that just for the sake of storytelling purposes, if I need to, I'll reorder the matches. The matches themselves would not change, but the order in which the matches took place in, that would change. And so, basically, the winner of this will be fighting Gaara. That's all you need to know. Because that's where the fun will begin, folks. But first and foremost, Neji, has been waiting. He's like, it looks like you finally arrived to meet your fate, Sasuke Uchiha. And Sasuke's looking at him just like, yeah, I don't think you've really ever been formally introduced, Neji. And Neji, you already know who I am, and I know who you are. There's no point in that. Fate has already decided this match. And Sasuke's looking, and it's like, okay. And now remember, Sasuke, try to conserve don't feel like you have to go all out, especially since you're not who your next opponent will be. It's like, right. And so they're squaring off and they're ready to go. Now, the big question here is, did Sasuke still learn the Chidori? Because Sasuke learned the Chidori from Kakashi as a response to having to go against Gaara. Mostly. I get the impression Kakashi, A, was going to train Sasuke either way, and B, was going to teach him the Chidori no matter what. Because Kakashi even says Sasuke is like me. So I have a feeling he was going to teach him the Chidori either way. I do think, however, that besides the Chidori training, it was also teaching Sasuke evasion tactics, ways to get through, Neji's attacks, things along those lines. So, the match begins, and Neji is immediately in his stance. Sasuke also is in his stance. Both their dojutsu. I had to remember the word. Both their dojutsu are activated, and they're staring each other down, and they're ready to go. Sasuke, charges in, and he charges in, opens up with the shuriken to Neji's face. Neji quickly gets out of the way, but Sasuke is keeping the attacker, keeping the pressure on him. Neji is blocking. And every once in a while, he's trying to hit Sasuke's chakra points. But because Sasuke has the Sharingan, he can, in fact, see what Neji's trying to do. And he's actually able to avoid any serious strikes. Even though he gets grazed a couple times, it misses the chakra point because Sasuke is able to time that a bit more effectively. And Sasuke then comes in with some smoke bombs. And Neji's like, I can see where you are, Sasuke. And Sasuke, there's no use hiding from me. As you Byakugan. And you see Sasuke's arms go out. What he doesn't immediately see until after the fact is the ninja wire. And he basically has to get out of the way, only for Sasuke to reappear behind him, basically using a substitution jutsu with another kunai, with one of the ninja wires. I was about to say kunai, but ninja wires he used. Because theoretically, as long as you can focus on the object, you can use a substitution with anything. And Sasuke managed to get the Lion's Barrage off on Neji while he's in midair. However, Neji, as he hits Neji the first time, he starts to go into a spin. He spins into a rotation and basically just slams Sasuke right off of him. And even Hiyashi and Hinata and Hinabi are just like, impossible. How could he learn that technique? And Sasuke gets back up and just like, you're not going to make this easy, are you? It's like, I've already told you, fate has made me destined. Has destined me to win this match. And Sasuke is getting annoyed. He's not like Naruto, where it's like, there's nothing about fate. You make your own destiny. But he is curious. Like, what is with you in this whole fate stick anyway? You keep bringing this up. It doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't. What would you know about it? And so, Neji, brings up his past. And I don't think he brings up the curse mark. Or he brings up the curse seal on his head, but he doesn't show it off. Um, and he just gets in Sasuke's face. It's like, and we are all destined. You are destined to lose, just as my father was destined to die, just as your clan was destined to die. Because Neji would be that kind of guy to really rub that in. Even Sakura and even Naruto and Naruto are like, oh, especially his teammates are like, oh, that's not good. And Sasuke's just like, he got the eyes down, and his eyes just, and here's the thing. We don't really know what it was about the fight with Naruto that caused his Sharingan to get the third Tomai. I would be almost willing to bet one of his Sharingans does manage to get the third Tomai. And just out of the sheer rage he's feeling at that moment. And Sasuke's just like, it's like, Sasuke. And fortunately, Sasuke's not blinded by his rage. He's angry, but he knows ultimately that this won't kill Neji because of what Neji will do to counteract it. And it's like, what do you think you're doing, Ichigo? This is over. And you're letting your guard down. And he comes in, it's like 8 trigrams. And all of a sudden, he just sees the chakras, like, what? And he backs off, and he sees the Chidori. Chidori! It's like, Kakashi, you didn't. Yes, guy, I did. But I didn't think he'd use it against Neji. And Naruto was actually the one to point out, like, Neji's probably going to block with that rotation thing. And Sasuke knew that. That's why he felt confident using it, I'm guessing. And everyone's like, what? I can be observant when I want to be. And true to form, Neji's like, oh crap, and throws out the rotation. Sasuke's got the Chidori, and the Chidori is just pierce. It's not like just breaking the rotation. It is struggling against it, but it is pierce things through, and it's losing power. And Sasuke was anticipating on this because he wasn't actually going to kill Neji, but he finally breaks through it and finally lands a straight shot into Neji's shoulder. Now, at this point, the Chidori lost enough power that it wasn't going to go boom like he did with Naruto. But it is like, his hand is, actually, it's basically kind of like what was going on with Gaara when he hit Gaara. Gaara stopped a lot of that blow, but he's like, what is this? It's my blood. He still got injured. He still got pierced. I feel it's the same way here with Neji. And then he lands a shot on Sasuke's arm. A pressure point and chakra point at one, and his arm just goes limp. Just, damn it. And meanwhile, though, Neji's like, you think you've been hiding something like that this whole time? It's like, and Sasuke's like, honestly, I was saving it for the that sand bastard, but you pissed me off. I was like, I see that I won't take it. Then it looks like I'm not the only one who's down a limb. Yeah, that's true. And they're kind of just squaring off a little bit. And finally, they come at you, like, huh? And Neji just comes in straight with a gentle fist. And Sasuke, because they even say his style is the intercepting fist, which is Bruce Lee style, basically. And with the Sharingan, he is actually able to more or less push the strike away, and then just spin and just land a straight kick to Neji's gut. Just and finally Neji's on the ground. Sasuke just hovers over and is like, this is over. And then Neji's like, damn it. And Neji's unable to battle. The winner is Sasuke Uchiha. Yeah, Sasuke! And then Hinata's waiting and says, wait, hold on. He goes up there. The next match will be Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara. There'll be a 5-minute wait period. Gaara goes down. Neji goes up. Or Gaara goes down. Gaara goes up, Neji goes out. He actually does talk a bit to Neji about what happened with his father. I do think Neji is respondent to what Hayashi's saying. I don't think, however, that it's his personality curbs just like it did initially. And this is due to the fact that he didn't go up against Naruto, who was like, about changing fate and destiny and all that. He's going up against Sasuke, who was also someone who defies fate, but in a different way. Sasuke, meanwhile, Hinata actually, releases his chakra. But, thanks, Hinata. Like, absolutely. They're just ways like, yeah, man, you just came back from a fight. Now you got to fight Gaara. Are you sure you're ready? You're sure you're going to be able to do this? Just wait. Just keep an eye out for me in the finals. You better not lose Naruto. like I could. Naruto then realized that, although, That's not to say I'm going to have my hands full of it. Let's give it our best, okay? And say, right. And so, 5 minutes are over. Sasuke, Chi, and Gaara, please enter the ring. And their fight goes down. And their fight actually goes down pretty much the same. Except when Sasuke gets the second Chidori off, that's it. He can't get another Chidori off. And he's pretty worn out at this point. He still manages to get the hit. Guard's like, what's this? It's my blood. It's my blood. So, he's like, oh, God. And then basically the invasion of the sound and the sand begin. Now, fortunately, Sakura and Hinata and even Naruto are smart enough to kind of figure out, Genjutsu, dispelling Genjutsu. Naruto still ain't that smart. And even if he is, he doesn't know how to do it. So, but it's one of them who has to wake him up. But they're all in, that's the thing, except for Sakura. They're actually, the three of them are all in the participants booths, the match booth, the waiting area. And so Kakashi and Naruto and all of them, and even Hinata get in and help out Kakashi a little bit and save civilians. But ultimately, they say they gotta go. They gotta go and go after Sasuke, who I still think goes after Gaara. The problem here, for Sasuke, is honestly he at this point can't get another shot off except with the curse mark. He doesn't have it in. He was only capable of 2 shots. And that's going to pose a problem. Sasuke's pretty tired. He takes a soldier pill, gets a little recoup, so maybe he can manage 1 Chidori off at that point. But, the group basically goes, and the group is Shikamaru. Shikamaru, I think they wake him up. It's Naruto, it's Naruto, it's Sakura, and it's Hinata. Because Hinata's there, and she's very capable and able to go, and Paku's leading them. You have Shikamaru stalling out the Sand Ninjas before. Sasuke still has to deal with Tamari. And honestly, I think he has to deal with Kankuro too. To a degree, yeah, I'd say he still has to deal with Kankuro actually. Except, I would say that Kankuro is pretty easily taken care of as Sasuke just fires a fireball jutsu. More or less to obscure Kankuro's view and just, keep moving on. And I think he, honestly, and even then, I think he also pulls, like, the explosive tag like he did with Tamari and just, it wasted enough of my time already, and, heads off. So Sasuke eventually hits Gaara. Their fight goes down. Because he took the soldier pill, he's got a bit more chakra, and again, he is able to pull off the Archidori, but that's about it. And then he gets the curse mark and, goes down again. And more or less Naruto Naruto kind of double team him, hit him, and then ask Hinata, is like, God, and she tags Gaara a couple times, which loosens the sand, loosens his grip on the chakra. And Gaara is actually, his personality is coming through a bit more, minus the Shikaku's influence. So now they're kind of squaring off a little bit. Sakura goes to help Sasuke, because she knows she can't do anything against Gaara because she fought him. And it's like, you. And it's like, you. Yes, you Naruto Uzumaki. You Uzumakis never cease to amuse. But I don't have time for this. I need blood, and I need it now! And he just fires sand at him. And then he sees Sakura, he's like, you. Mother wanted your blood before, but couldn't get it. But now Mother will have all your blood. And Sakura gets pinned again. Fortunately, this time though, Naruto's like, no, Sakura. And Naruto's trying to get her out of there, and Hinata's like, I think I can loosen the chakra. The sand is chakra all over it, but I think I can get it loose with enough time. It's not like you can just go tap tap tap. There's a lot of concentrated chakra in that, so she's got to tap it repeatedly. Naruto's helping her out by basically lending her some chakra. Meanwhile, Naruto is taking on Gaara. Now, that fight goes to a degree the same. There's some differences. For instance, Naruto doesn't do the everywhere shuriken. He does Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu. And furthermore, when he does it, it's not Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu. It's like, take this! Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu! And all of a sudden, these shuriken come in. Guard's like, is that the best you can? All of a sudden, he hears a hissing as the shuriken All of them have explosive notes. Basically, it's pretty simple. You put an explosive note on a kunai or shuriken, you multiply that. It stands to reason that the explosive note would also multiply as well. So Gaara's like, so much that like Gaara's arm isn't gone, but it's broken. Like it's just shattered. And he's like, ugh, that little and all that, and everyone with a Maki barrage, and then just pop. Did I underestimate him? All right, this is over, and he's about to do it. He's about to basically deliver the finishing blow. It's like, not to him. Not him. There's no way I'm gonna lose to a guy. Oh, did like that. I like him. And boom. Thank you. You made push me this far. To thank you. I will give you a swift death. Naruto Uzumaki. And Naruto's like, it's like Naruto. Naruto's like, Naruto. And she's like, I hope I have enough chakra. And all of a sudden, she's about to summon a snake. Because we don't know which snake she would have summoned to just sign the contract. My guess is there's probably like a standard snake, and then there's a scroll carrying snake. Gamabuncha's not the scroll carrier. He's just, the chief toad. He's kind of the head boss. Same for the great wise toad sage. But more importantly, she's about to summon, and then summoning jutsu! Boom! And then what am I doing here? Oh, it's you. What do you want, Brat? And then, Shikaku the Sand Spirit. And so, you'll never cease to amuse. Thank you. I'll show you the true manifestation of the sand. Play possum jutsu. And I'm finally free. Let's do this. And so Gaara and Gamabuncha and Naruto, and they had their debacle. It takes an arm off, transforms into the fox. Naruto does, however, throw out another Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu, but with kunai essentially stick, and a lot of explosive notes again, and then it boom, momentarily stuns Shikaku, and he ultimately he cracks them. He cracks Shikaku or Gaara awake, and Shikaku goes away, and he beats Gaara down. And they fall away from the group. Naruto and Hinata finally get Sakura out of there as the sand starts to dissipate. And Naruto has the whole spiel about it's almost unbearable, isn't it? Loneliness. Now this isn't the same speech he gives in the original for obvious reasons. He has a sister. He now has friends. But still, like Gaara has siblings too. Naruto could still relate to like the isolation and the looks of hatred that the villagers give him. Like he can still sympathize with Gaara. And it's ultimately it all comes around. Naruto shows up along with Sasuke, and she's ready to take them on if need be. And she's not fresh, but she's far fresher than pretty much anyone else on this battlefield right now. She could definitely take any of these guys on right now and beat their asses. And so they head off, they escape. Everything else goes to pot. Third, unfortunately, dies. Orochimaru loses the usage of his arms. There is a funeral held for the third Hokage. Everyone mourns, and that's that. And then Itachi and Kasami come in. Now, with Naruto and Naruto are probably, doing their thing, not being given a lot of missions at the moment. Maybe even, using the clones, tasking them for, rebuilding missions, rebuilding the village. Jiraiya still approaches Naruto about going to see Tsunade. Now, I imagine him because I believe he was getting ramen time, so him and Naruto could be getting lunch, and Naruto is like, wow. It's like, whoa, what about Naruto? And it's like, oh, I wasn't really intending to bring her along, but I suppose if she wants to. And surprisingly, Naruto's like, no. It's like, no thanks. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, no thanks, but Uncle Sensei told me about you. As powerful as you are, you're kind of a pervert. Oh, come on now. I'm not that bad, am I? No, Jiraiya knowing full well. Oh, yes, he is. And Naruto's even giving him a look like, didn't when we meet you wanted me to? All right. Look, it's up to you, Naruto. We'll be heading out in an hour, so if you change your mind, you're more than welcome. Besides, I'm going to show Naruto a really cool new jutsu. That's like, Naruto's like, really? He's like, I suppose then, yeah, sure. It's like, oh, awesome. Plus, it'll give Naruto give both of you a good, it'll be good for you to have someone to train with than just by yourself. Give you something to aim for if one of you is ahead. And they can't disagree with that. So they pack up and get ready and head out. Uh, meanwhile, meanwhile, at the other plat, the Itachi Kasami thing goes off as usual. There's no change there. No, Sakura is a little less like fangirly around Sasuke. Now that she's actually gotten some training, she can actually see what the real benefits of that is, and she is a bit more focused on other things. Still, though, she obviously wants to get Sasuke on a date. Meanwhile, Naruto and Naruto and Jiraiya head out of the village. And, he explains what the technique's kind of going to be like a little bit, but he's going to wait until they get to a certain town. Naruto and Naruto are basically meditating in the room as he goes on the date. And then finally, this episode will end with Itachi and Kasame showing up at the door of Naruto and Naruto. So that's where part 8 will leave off. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Join us next week for part 9. Till then, let me know if you want us to review anything. All that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.